So I hear we have something in common. It sounds like you have a little bit of a TV experience.
I do, yeah. I thought it was our pillow, but
Yeah.
So here's this now.
I heard that you went against one of our culinary legends from New York. His name is Bobby Flay.
Yes.
Is it correct that you beat him?
I did beat him, yep, with fried chicken.
Fried chicken?
Fried chicken, yeah.
Awesome. Tell me about the experience. What do you think?
It was, well, you filmed it as well, right?
I did, yes.
In Brooklyn, did you film it in the...
It was up actually in, am I allowed to say the location? I don't know. FTR, right? It was like on the island up north for us.
You stayed on that island?
Yeah.
The whole thing, yeah. We've both done a bunch of shows. That was one of my favorites. It was quick, easy, like half a day, not even. Yeah. I filmed during the pandemic, so it was interesting. All the studio audience were all, COVID tested and...
Yeah, for people that haven't done too much competition TV, what is an experience like doing something like that? What does it feel like?
So that's probably the last show that I shot. I've done a bunch of them and I enjoyed that one. It was, if some shows are, not that they're scripted, as you know, like we do compete and the time is the time, but it was very, it just felt more real.
Yeah.
Did you feel the same thing?
Yeah, I think.
It's just like cook something
misconceptions. Everyone's like, hey, that's rigged, it could be, I guess. It's possible,
You're right.
That it could be rigged. But from my experience, it didn't seem that way.
Yeah.
It did not seem that way because the stress was real. The time was real. When the time ran out,
Right.
And I had no idea what or who I was going against in the first round.
In the first round.
I think the first round is probably the scary one, right? Like that's because you don't know.
It is, correct, yeah.
Because you have to get to him first.
What did you end up cooking?
On the first round?
Yeah.
Actually, I got a whole fish. I think it was a loup de mer, but it was a whole thing. And I was, I think it was like 20 minutes or something like that.
Yeah,
it was very short time. And I looked at it and I didn't like.
Mine was a lot easier at tofu.
Oh, so nice. So some would say that's hard to
I wasn't taking anything apart.
Awesome. Yeah, I was quite challenging. My competitor, Roman, he was the chef at Danielle at the time.
Wow.
So everything inside of me was like, I'm going to go.
Done. Yeah.
Well, kind of like, you get in the mindset where you're like, I'm going to go home anyway. Let me just do this and see what happens.
Right.
And because I have done a competition before, it seemed like I got done in time.
Yeah.
And I think the strategy is always make sure you can get it done in time, right?
Right.
Your mind will say do everything, then your body says get it on the plate, and then worry about the rest later. Yeah. Yeah. How was did you feel like, were you like TV conditioned? Your nerves are all chill or?
Yeah. I mean, I back in the day when I used to do these things, it was like, you try to do too much. It's like those shows, it's like simplify everything. It's like, don't try to make too many components. And like, my whole thing is like season everything.
Yeah. Extra seasoning.
I
think everyone chain smokes because like you have to put so much salt in it. Like I eat it and I'm like, oh, it's too salty. And like, it's perfect. I think that's
exactly. Season everything because they're tasting all these, all these things. And so it went well. Did you end up winning?
I did end up winning. I did.
It's definitely rigged. No, I'm just
kidding. Exactly. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. I was like, there must be some trick here because I mean, to be honest, his record is what 70 and higher.
Yeah,
he's one of been competitive.
I couldn't believe it either. Yeah, it's like
how is he like? I'm more impressed with him actually on that show because it's like like when you come and you know the dish that you're making, he doesn't know the dish you're making. He has no idea, and he has to like figure it out.
Yeah,
instantly, right?
He actually, I decided on the show. It's funny. I couldn't. I made a cornbread as well for. In the oven in a skillet. And
I made a bread.
I decided not to take. I actually made the bread.
Yeah, that's impossible. Yeah.
Like I made it stovetop, got it really hot, got a nice, and then finished it in the oven. But I couldn't. I left my glasses backstage.
Oh no!
And I'm like blind close up, and I could not see the oven to turn it on. I didn't know what temp was. He actually came around, fixed my oven for me. Like, and they had on which was cool. Yeah, everyone asked like, "How's Bobby Flay?" I'm like, I thought he was cool.
Yeah, he was very, very kind to me. I mean, he doesn't really owe us anything. Technically, we would owe him because he gave us like TV exposure, and he was very nice to me. Discussed, how difficult it is having your entire career made up everybody hating you. It's I can only imagine. Yes, it's like one day as a chef, right?
Correct. Yeah, exactly.
Did it help you with your business thing, or how was it?
Every time TV, even when it re-airs, it always gives you a bump. Whether it's someone that reaches out to you, you're local in Philly. I just saw you beat Bobby Flay. Opportunity to kind of like tell them where your restaurant's at. Come out and even though I don't have fried chicken at my restaurant, and I made I did the fried chicken thing came out of the pandemic. I had a barbecue restaurant.
Okay.
and I couldn't, brisket was too expensive.
Yeah.
I wasn't running a smoker 18 hours a day. I didn't have staff. So I started doing a fried chicken sandwich pop-up out of my big kitchen.
Nice.
Literally out the front door. I had lines around the corner. And it was a simple recipe based off of a Thomas Keller herb brine fried chicken recipe.
The old ad hoc book, yeah.
That's it. Ad hoc, right. It was just like, recipe, lemon, honey, thyme, rosemary, and people went crazy over it. I pretended it was my recipe.
So that's what we all do.
And, I think I threw something different in.
Yeah, it's just one
peppercorn. One red peppercorn. Yes. And that's what I tried to do against Bobby Flay. And I did, I think I made a coleslaw and some cornbread. I did this like honey vinegar thing. Yeah.
What was going on in your mind when the judging was going on? Were you pretty confident, or were you just like,
I don't. They always, whether you killed them or not, they always make you feel like you're going to lose.
Yes.
Right.
I think
there's got to be that up. It was like, this is the best fried chicken, and then it's like it's always something. So you never know. But I felt good. It's tough when you're making something like, I didn't even ask you what you made yet, but I will. Make fried chicken. It's like any little thing can go wrong. It was on the bone, and like, did I cook it too long? Did I not? I fried it. Mm-hmm. Actually, the fryers weren't working. Oh, so I filled a pot.
Fryers are nasty, man. They need to get better fryers in the kitchen.
They're horrible.
They're not commercial fryers.
They're horrible. Yeah, they're little like electric.
Yeah, yes. You pray that they'll hit the temperature.
What did you make?
What did I make? I made a dish called a Kati roll. My strategy was to just pick something that if I got to him, I wanted something that he might not be familiar with.
Yeah,
it would be like.
Was he?
Oddly enough, I do some research when I do these things. It looked like there was a Kati roll challenge that did like 7 or 8 seasons, because there's like 40. There's so many seasons. Yeah,
it's almost like there's nothing left for him.
Yeah. So when that was the one that they settled on. But when I did mine, I made the paratha from scratch. So I made the breads.
Yeah,
and I was convinced that they had a dough sheeter because it's a laminated dough. They did not have a dough sheeter, so I had to hand make it, and I did not plan for that part.
Yeah.
So it was cutting it close to the point where like even the production team, like everyone's like, should we just give him like a pre-made one? Because Bobby didn't make one, obviously. And I was like, I stopped for a second, and I was like, my mom will kill me if I don't finish this. And that was the inspiration. I was like, my mom will murder me. I need to get this in the fryer right now. And so I pushed through.
Yeah.
And I think that may have been what set it over the edges, because I just tried to make something from scratch and not enough time. Yeah. It's all just a balance of like.
How was his?
His was interesting. We'll say. I think it was a very good idea. I think the tough part, what I was shooting for, and actually I got into an honest conversation because, when you do these things, no, they're not going to tell you what to do, but there's an appearance you want to put on it. You want it to look pretty. You want it to be such. And I was like, I wrap mine in foil. Because in Bangladesh and India, you wrap it in foil because you take it with you and you got to open it up.
Yeah, right.
Well, and there was a fight almost where they're like, "You can take it out of the foil." I was like, "No, I'm not going to take it out of the foil because it has to be hot. Like it's really important. It's this way."
The judges
and the judges were like, because it was in foil, they're like, "Oh, this seems more authentic because it was in foil." Yeah. And it was like it was an interesting point. But when you do these things, I think we were talking about it earlier. You got to stick to you, right?
Yeah.
You want to do like everybody will tell you what you should do, and then you're just left with like, what should I actually do? And whether you're happy or not, you just got to do what you want to do. And if you lose that way, I think I felt a lot better knowing that I got what I wanted on the plate mostly.
It's so funny you say that because, you kind of do stick to, like first round they gave me tofu, right? At that time I had my little Vietnamese sandwich shop, so I made a little tofu banh mi, right? And
did you make bread?
Did I make the bread?
Yeah.
No, but the bread was horrible. It was the worst part. But I remember my favorite part of banh mi or Vietnamese sandwiches are the herbs, right? Yeah. And I personally like stems of cilantro better than the leaves. They hold up better. They have more flavor.
Objectively, you're correct. Yes.
Well, thank you. So I filled it with that and even a little bit of mint leaves. And Jeff Zakarian, it's like, I really love the way you said, but no one wants to eat stems of any vegetable. And I was like, oh, I do.
Yeah.
Like I actually enjoy that.
Yeah. I think one of the things that is interesting is probably maybe the first time you did a competition TV show. You don't really know what you're supposed to do, and you're afraid because
to talk back.
Yeah, and I think
as you do TV and they
you realize that you do actually have to stand up for your product because they'll sense any sort of lack of confidence, right? If you don't do it, and then even if there's a production team, if they can't taste it, how are they going to make an assessment? Right. And it's based on your confidence. So maybe a word of advice for the young chefs that are getting on stuff, right? Like, do it. And maybe you can beat Bobby Flay, right?
Right.
So did it feel like good to win? Did you have to like jump up, or what they make you do?
They made me do something really ridiculous that every time I watch it on TV, people laugh at me and I laugh at myself.
I did do a cartwheel just for
Oh, I wouldn't have been. My jeans were too tight.
Mine were too. And you think you can do it once, but you got to get that take. So I did like.
It was like, I'm Chad Rosenthal and I just beat Bobby Flay. And I did like this thing that I would never do in real life. and everyone makes fun of me for it. I didn't do a cartwheel.
I don't recommend it. Because
I don't know what I did, but it was over the top.
I think that's the energy though. Like,
yeah,
I think what they say maybe for television is you take your personality and amplify it by 1,000%, and
you have to.
You look on TV.
100, just like the seasoning.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the later you do that, like we get those things later on, we're like, oh, they're only going to be like, they're going to cut us down to this amount. It's really important. You make a very strong impression. Yeah. Well, that's cool. I really appreciate you telling me.
Man. Thank you. It was great meeting you. Yeah. Again, I'm very upset I came on a Monday night to Columbus, so I can't eat his food. Yeah, but I'll come back.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe you can come and try the thing that Beat Bobby. We have it on our menu right now.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah, I have it over at Joya's, and the day that thing aired, which is funny,
went nuts.
They think it's live. They're just like, you just beat him, and I was like, I'm at the restaurant.
I actually just flew back from Brooklyn.
I just did it.